Hi, welcome to Biohacking with Brittany, a podcast focused on holistic health, nutrition, biohacking, and more. I'm your host, Brittany Ford, registered holistic nutritionist and self-proclaimed biohacker. During the last 10 years, I've focused on healing my gut and hormonal issues through lifestyle changes, nutrition, and of course, biohacks. And now I teach others to do the same. I'm so excited you're joining me today, so let's dive right in. Hello, and welcome to another episode with Biohacking Brittany. I am your host, Brittany, and I'm super excited. Oh my gosh, super excited about today's episode. It is with Vanessa Grutman, and Vanessa and I connected, I think, on Instagram, maybe like almost a year ago now, or maybe longer. I don't even know. But we've been talking so much over the months about housing market in Vancouver and moving closer to nature, but also a lot about skin health. And as you know, if you've been following my journey, whether on Instagram or through my podcast, I have had quite an interesting skin journey in the last year or two. Specifically, like last year, I was dealing with adult acne for the first time. And that really, really changed my perspective on my skin and my routine and my skincare in general. And so I started looking at alternative ways to help my skin heal and kind of heal from that. And when I connected with Vanessa, who is the brand director of Project Skin, which is a skin clinic in Vancouver, we started talking about how we could work together. And so we've done a few things like PRP, which you can check out on my Instagram page. I did a reel of it recently, which is amazing. And we're going to get into PRP as well today. And I also worked with her on something called SkinCeuticals, which I also did an Instagram reel on. And that is like personalized skincare where you can make a serum actually designed specifically for your skin, which is very, very cool. And the technology behind it is so new and fascinating. So I'm super excited about that. So Vanessa,
Thank you
welcome
so
to the
much
show.
for having me. I'm so excited.
Yeah, I'm excited you're here. So I am so curious about your skin journey. I actually don't think I know this story and like your background, but like, can you tell us like why you got into the skin health world in
Yeah,
general?
well, actually, I think it didn't start with that intention. I was always passionate about health, wellness, being your own advocate for your own health. I did my bachelor in kinesiology at McGill, and so I was always about health optimization. Um, Also, my brother has Down syndrome, so I've always been privy to the importance of just working really, really hard to feel good. You know, you can't depend on anybody else for that. So I've always been, just like an absolute guru about feeling my best and being inspired by also my brother and how he's been thriving. And I ended up working in the skin industry with my kinesiology background. They were looking for someone with a more science background to launch the SkinCeuticals line with L'Oreal in Canada. So that was the year of the Olympics. So we moved to Vancouver from Montreal to do that. And that's been a blast. And through launching this medical skincare brand in the country, I got to meet two wonderful human beings, Dr. McGilvery and his wife, and together we founded Project Skin MD, which is a network of aesthetic clinics. And our goal was really to empower people, give them access to education, information, so they could make good decisions about their skin. And luckily, my skin has always been pretty good. Um, but I came from it more from a place of wanting to help people really glow from the inside out. Again, because of my
Mhm.
passion for health, you know, skin is your largest organ. So I've always been a huge believer that if your skin is healthy, it's a reflection of how your body is on the inside. So yeah, that's it wasn't a straight line, as you can see. But it was really an
Mhm.
underlying desire for feeling my best and helping others do the same.
Yeah. Yeah, well, our skin, like you said, is our largest organ and reflects what's going on inside, right? So whether it's eczema or acne or dryness or like premature aging, like all of these different things, like it can really, really be a symptom of deeper, more serious things that are going on. And a lot of people don't really treat it like that, right? Like they don't really understand that. So it's really cool that you have that perspective and really bring that
Yeah,
to your
you're
business.
right. And something, for example, like acne, often there's just so many digestive or gut issues that can be related to it. And sometimes it's just a
Hmm.
simple food intolerance or too much of something like sugar that can trigger these things. So, our estheticians and our providers do a really good job of fact finding with our clients, making sure
Hmm.
we understand and yeah, having a more comprehensive approach from the inside out. So talking about supplements and how to and collagen and the importance of adding those. So it's not just about the vanity metrics. It's not just about
Hmm.
looking good. It's and you've experienced it firsthand when you're suffering from any skin condition. It's really hard. It's really
Hmm.
hard on the confidence, on the self esteem. So that's why we help them
Yeah.
and we rebuild basically our patients back up. It's so amazing to see.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. So when I was dealing with acne, it was from like, I think it was from September 2019 to about May 2020. And it was on my chin and my forehead. And it wasn't like cystic, but it was very like bumpy and whiteheads. And I was so insecure. Like I can't even describe it to you. I never had acne as a teenager. I never had any issues. And to have this like flare up and not know how to handle it was so overwhelming. And it took such
Yes.
a hit on my confidence. I like it got to a point we were in a different apartment at that time. And this it was a very old style apartment and it had mirrors everywhere. And it got to a point that I was so self-conscious and like crying to my fiance that he actually covered up all of the mirrors in our apartment for like a week with like old sheets and was like, stop looking at your skin, stop looking at yourself, like
Oh,
you
he's
need a
a
break, like
keeper.
you are being yeah, yeah, it was so upsetting. Like yeah. So now whenever people talk to me about skin issues, I have such a different perspective because I
Yeah,
really struggled with it. Like I didn't want to go out, I didn't want to do anything. I didn't I'd either wear so much makeup that I covered it up, but then I didn't want to wear
it
makeup
makes
because
it
I didn't want to
worse.
make it
Yeah.
worse. Exactly. And I was in this spiral. It was bad. So I
Yeah,
get
it's
it.
and
um
stories like this we hear every single day, and I'm not gonna lie,
mhm.
since this whole pandemic, we've been seeing a lot more. Whether they're coming in for maskne, which is the acne under the area where the mask is, but also just people are so hard on themselves because they're on Zoom every single day, and never
Yeah.
in our life we've had to look at ourselves all day long. When you're in meetings face to face, you never see yourself. So
Mhm.
this Zoom fatigue phenomenon is really truly something that's serious. And our physicians have turned into
Yeah.
counselors and therapists because people
Oh,
are
I
coming
bet.
in with they're extremely hard on themselves and they want their entire face to be changed. So we have to to talk to them and bring them back to a more neutral position, if you will. um, but yeah,
Yeah.
it's a bit unfortunate. And so my recommendation for that is be sure to turn off your self view when you're on Zoom, and you'll find yourself so much more connected to the person you're talking to as well. And and then that way
Yes. Yeah.
you're not like scrutinizing your face all day long, and finding
Yeah.
every single wrinkle or crow's feet that really nobody cares about.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. So I had about a year of like before this acne situation of traveling, and we started in Fiji. And that was in the fall of 2018. And I did this volunteer placement in Fiji, and we stayed in this house of some teachers at a school, and they had this mirror in the bathroom. So they had one mirror in the house. Okay, and it was in the bathroom, and it was literally like the size of your phone. It was tiny, like tiny. And it was honestly like such a nice break from not
Yep.
seeing yourself anymore. Like I think we were there for like 10 days or something. Maybe it was just a week, but I remember going from there, and then we went to stay at a resort afterwards, and like going to the resort and walking in, and there's this like massive mirror in the bathroom, and looking at myself, and I was like, wow, like I haven't seen myself in like a week or 10 days. And like, this is actually really nice. Like, I forgot what it's like. I forgot what it's like not to stare at every single blackhead or whitehead or like
Yes.
wrinkle or whatever, right? And just like become so obsessed, and oh, it's honestly so
Yeah,
nice not looking at
it's
yourself.
totally like the other end of the spectrum from what we're living right now, what you're describing. But
Yes.
it's so good for the
Yes.
soul for sure. I mean, it's
Yeah.
more about balance, and unfortunately, it's not
Mhm.
balanced right now with this Zoom situation. But hoping
Yeah.
we're getting to towards the end of that. But the
Yeah.
skin is the
Yeah.
first thing that people also notice before they notice even your clothing. Um, so no
Mm.
wonder you're also noticing that first when you're looking at yourself in the mirror or on Zoom. It's something that's
Yeah.
really also historically, that's how humans have been mating. A male would be attracted to a female that would have really clear skin because what that signals is that that person is healthy to carry their offsprings. So it's very deeply rooted.
Mhm.
The clarity and the quality of your skin really truly dictates your health on the inside.
Yeah. I think like along with the Zoom situation is the like us using our phones and taking
Mm-hmm.
photos of ourselves. Um we're always, especially if you have a social media following, we're always kind of on camera and filming or creating content or
Yeah.
selfies or whatever it is. So you have even closer to your face is this phone where you can see everything. And then on top of that, you have filters, right? So you can put these like filters on your face that quote unquote make you look better or different or like change the size of your
Mm-hmm.
eyes or color or the shape of your face. And that is very difficult because that can show you, what you could look like, right? And so, and then when you turn it off, you're left with how you currently look, and then you can feel very like disappointed or like, oh, this kind of sucks, right? So, and I've heard other people say like in like plastic surgery clinics, and like Botox and all that, like people will come in with a photo of themselves
Yep.
with a filter on and say, "Hey, I want to look like this filtered version
Absolutely.
of myself. How can we make this happen?" And that is like blows my mind that that happens, but I totally understand that as somebody who uses filters as well. Like I
Yeah.
totally get it, but it's also just
Yeah, it's
very
definitely
sad.
a troubling time for sure. We do have that. Our physicians go through that all the time. And before the filters, it was the Kim Kardashian pictures and the Angelina Jolie lips, and people always come in with
Right.
photos. And often what we'll tell them is we want to see a picture of them 10, 15, 20 years ago. And that's what we want to recreate. We want to just a
Mm.
refreshed version of you. We're,
Mhm.
we're not the kind of clinic that will create, face distortion or create new people. We're all about just offering you a refreshed version, a rejuvenated version of yourself. Because at the end of the day, that's also the best, most natural way to age gracefully. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the narrative around aging is changing, and I would like to see it change more. Like I think we have this, especially in the Western world. Like I think we have this obsession with being younger or like
Mm-hmm,
looking
mm-hmm.
younger maybe. And I don't really think that's fair, and I don't really think that's healthy even. Like I don't think there's anything wrong with getting older or like aging gracefully, but sometimes I don't know. Like, do you find that? Like, do you find the narrative is like so obsessed with looking younger compared to being your age and looking beautiful for your
Yeah, it's
age?
interesting actually. What we're seeing a lot of in the past couple years is the concept of beautification. So we're having patients that are coming in that are younger and younger, so in their early 20s and early 30s, and they're already looking, they're not, they haven't aged yet, but they're looking to beautify themselves. And their examples are the
Mm,
Kylie Jenners and the Kim Kardashian again. So it's all, that's why I'm saying we've turned into therapists and counselors, because it's a lot of conversations around
mhm,
why is this important for you? You know, what in this makes, what in this do you find beautiful, or what do you think this is going to bring you? Um, and often we tend to do something a lot less than what they came in for. Um, so yeah, for sure, it's an interesting, and it'll be interesting to see where it goes. We're definitely seeing a lot more non-invasive technology, a lot more natural treatment options that are coming out. And I think the market is asking for that, especially here on the West Coast. Um, People are
mhm.
wanting more natural treatment options like PRP, um, which even 5 years ago was sort of talked about for facial um, applications, but it wasn't fully done, but now it's everywhere,
Mhm,
which I love
mhm,
personally. I think
mhm.
PRP is a great example of it's
Yeah.
biohacking. It's pure biohacking for the skin, which I
Mhm.
love.
It is. Oh
Mm-hmm.
my gosh, it is. So for those listening who don't know what PRP is, like, can
Yeah.
you
So
explain it?
PRP stands for platelet-rich plasma. Basically, what we do is we will take your blood, and as you know, in your blood there's a mix of plasma, platelets, red blood cells, and white blood cells. What we're trying to get here is really get the platelet part, because it contains growth factors that are extremely potent to help healing, reduce inflammation. At the skin level, they're extremely powerful to build new collagen. So what we're doing is we're putting your blood in the centrifuge, and we end up with what we call the liquid gold on top, which is platelet rich plasma. And in fact, that liquid gold has 5 to 10 times more platelet than your regular blood. So it's highly concentrated. And we use that to re inject on the face. And what we're doing by doing that is we're harnessing the body's natural strength, natural, um, we already have these growth factors in us. We're just putting more in a more concentrated version to stimulate um, collagens, which will smooth out wrinkles. It'll help to brighten up the skin, but also reduce inflammation. And so, if we
Mhm.
sometimes things like, I suffer from melasma now since I've had my kiddos. Melasma is we call it often the pregnancy mask. So it's hormonal. It's also inflammation based. Um, and so that the PRP really helps for that, because it helps to reduce the inflammation. So it can be
Mhm.
used in many different ways. PRP has been used since the 70s for joint health. So you may have heard if someone has a knee issue or a shoulder issue, they might get injected with PRP, which helps their healing, and it really speeds it up. And what's great is then you don't need to put any cortisone, or you don't need to go that route. You can really stick on the natural side. And now for the face or more cosmetic purposes, we can inject it. We can use it with microneedling, which is my favorite application. We can use it for hair regrowth in the scalp. The results are mind blowing. And again, we're not injecting anything else. We're taking what's already in you, that's already so powerful, and we're putting more of it so your body knows exactly what to do. It's a plug and play, which I love.
I want to pause this episode briefly to talk to you about emphies. So, if you've been following me for a while now, you know that this is something that I have really been pouring myself into to develop for you. MVs are healthier underwear for women made by women. They protect against EMF, radiation, and bacteria. And they do that through the type of fabric that I'm using. I've started going to sewing classes and pattern making private lessons in order to make sure that these are very modern, comfy, and cute, and not granny panties, unlike the couple of options on the market right now. So this is super important. The underwear protects the female reproductive parts, specifically the ovaries, from all of the radiation that's around us. So in our car, from Bluetooth, from our phone, from computers, from Wi-Fi, all sorts of things. And this matters, right? Like we're learning more and more about how our environment impacts our health, and EMF is tough and radiation is tough because we actually can't see it. So it's kind of one of those things that we just don't necessarily think about because we can't like visually see it on a day-to-day basis, but that does not mean it's not impacting our health. And the science backs us up now. There are countless studies on this, on how EMF can impact fertility, ovulation, pregnancy, also like cancer and mitochondrial health. The ovaries are actually the most dense organ in the body that has mitochondria in it. They have 100,000 mitochondria per cell in the ovaries, like per cell. That is insane. And so we really want to make sure that those little mitochondria are doing their best, are functioning at their best. And we want to block any EMF, any radiation from impacting how they function, because I want women to have healthy cycles and healthy hormones and healthy pregnancy and fertility, and not have further, much more serious complications in the future. So, this underwear helps you get there like one step closer. And so that's exactly why I developed it. And so pre-orders are coming this summer. I'm really excited about it. It's going to be a lot of fun, and it has been a lot of fun in the months that I have been developing them. So if you're interested in getting on the waitlist can be found at biohackingbrittany.com/emfies. That's EMFIES. Super easy. Or you can just go to the link in my Instagram bio. You can just sign up right through there as well. So definitely get on that wait list. It's growing pretty quickly. And everyone on the wait list will have early access to pre-orders, which is super important because it's going to be quite a limited quantity to start, I think. So get on the wait list. And yeah, if you have any further feedback, I'm always open to hear what you think and what you're looking for, even product wise. Like, yeah, and a bunch of you have already asked me if I'm going to be creating things for children or for men, which is very interesting. But I think we're going to focus just on the females for now. So get on the wait list, and I look forward to dropping these very soon. Hmm. Yeah, I love PRP. I've seen a lot of results for it in terms
Yes.
of texture, and even ever since I was a kid, like I've just had dark circles under
Mm-hmm.
my eyes, and it's really helped rejuvenate and fill out that skin. Um, it's also helped with like from the acne that I had last year. Like it's helped heal acne scars that I had on my chin. um, and it's just interesting, like it just really rejuvenates skin. I don't think like yeah, it's definitely not for everybody, I think. Like I think I forget who I was talking to about it, but someone was saying that they have a lot of autoimmune
Absolutely. Yeah.
issues, so their blood is actually not super healthy. So you want to be kind of aware of that. Is there anyone else that you like wouldn't recommend it for
Well,
then?
in theory, there aren't really any contraindications, but of course, if you know, let's say if you're going through cancer or chemotherapy, then of course you know that your blood is not at its ideal state at the moment, so it's probably best to wait. Um, but and autoimmune to an extent, um, I'm just trying to think because we're really using only the platelets. Um, so I'd have to do a quick research, but in our case, as long as the person is healthy to begin with, and also the output will be different. Like the healthier you are, the more you'll have a greater output of the platelets. Um, so
Yeah.
there's different factors that come into play for sure. Um, but
Yeah.
it's an important consideration, making sure that the patient is healthy, not going through crazy treatments or antibiotics or medication. Yeah, because you're putting
Mm-hmm.
that back
I
that
just
you're
love it.
putting that back in a
Yeah.
concentrated version for sure.
Yeah. I just love that it's a more natural treatment for like compared to
Exactly.
filler or Botox or
Yeah.
something like that. Um, like those types of things I haven't tried before, but I'm not necessarily against it. But if I can use something that's more natural and less toxic, then I'm going to do that
Yeah,
first.
there's a time and
Absolutely.
a place for the injectables, and interestingly, the dermal fillers um, are using hyaluronic acid, so they're not toxic. Um, hyaluronic acid is a sugar molecule that everyone has in their body. It attracts water, which is why we have plumpness, and as we age, we're losing that hyaluronic acid. So therefore, we're losing our ability to retain water in our skin, which is why it starts to sag. So by using dermal filler, we're really just restoring that hyaluronic acid content in the skin and replumping the skin. So it's not um, toxic per se. You have to.
Mm.
There's really important considerations. However, you need to make sure you have a very good physician with lots of experience, but also with an artistic eye. I see so many faces on the street that make me cringe because it looks nothing like a real person. And that's really, it
Mm.
comes down to the artistic eye of the injector and the physician that you're using. So it's important to request pictures. But in some cases, maybe for an older patient, the PRP won't be enough because PRP doesn't restore volume. It doesn't add volume. It doesn't fill the
Hmm.
skin. We're really just working on the texture, the quality, and the health of the skin. But we're not
Hmm.
working on underneath filling the skin for a tighter look. So if that's what you want, actually you can do both together. Then they complement each other really well. For someone that's looking for more
Hmm.
like immediate result, then the dermal filler is also a great option. But it's not for everybody. That's why I love to have options. And in Vancouver, especially, our clients are wanting more natural ways to age. So this is such
Hmm.
a fabulous treatment, and we pair it with microneedling for extra um, anti-aging benefits. And you've mentioned acne scars, and it works so well for that. We've mentioned dark circles.
Hmm.
We can actually just locally
Hmm.
inject it right there and kind of double up on the treatment. That works super. We have
Hmm.
fabulous results. So there's so many different ways to approach it, which is why we love to do a personalized consultation with everybody. So we make sure that we tailor the treatment to exactly what they want to achieve for an outcome.
Hmm. Yeah, that's so interesting about the fillers. About how they're actually not toxic. Like I'm gonna look into that because I would love to try them. I also like maybe not now, but I feel like maybe for if I have a wedding
Mm-hmm.
one day, that type of thing compared to Botox. It's very
Yeah,
interesting.
they both do
Um,
different
are
things,
there?
right? So often people will
Yeah.
ask us, "Oh, I don't want Botox in my lips," and we're like, "Well, that's great news because it doesn't go there." So Botox is more a
Yeah.
muscle relaxer, so it's more for any
Hmm.
deep wrinkles that you have. It will help to relax that muscle so that the wrinkle um, disappear, if you will. And there's ways to do it, so it's um, all the hype right now is about preventative micro dosing. of Botox. So it's really
Mm-hmm.
just tiny, tiny amounts um, that actually prevent the formation of deeper wrinkles. So again, there's something for
Mm-hmm.
everybody depending on where you are in your journey. But um, that's what we do is we educate you so that you can make an informed decision.
Yeah, yeah,
Yes,
baby Botox, right?
exactly.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's definitely
There's
interesting.
an article
And
actually two
some
weeks ago in the Washington Post about this because a lady, a young, I think she was like 25 on TikTok, she documented um, 2 weeks after her injection how her skin um, changed and how she was able to move still. And I think that created so much interest because most people have this tendency to think that if you're getting Botox, you won't be able to move and you'll have that frozen look.
right,
Um, and some
right.
people are actually ask for that. And some are like, no, I need movement. I need to be able to talk to my kids and they see when I'm angry.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, there's a place for everybody.
That's funny. Yeah, I love that. Definitely
Mm-hmm.
something to consider. So, are there any skin treatments that are coming down the pipeline that you're super stoked about that might not be released yet, or you're looking into or researching or anything
Yeah,
like
well,
that?
again, I think we're seeing a lot of non-invasive things. So whether it's like non-surgical eyelid lift to replace blepharoplasty, which is super exciting, because nobody wants to
Hmm.
go through surgery. If you can avoid it, it's always better. So these type of treatments are exciting and promising. And also, right now, all the hype is about body procedures, and I do think it's related to what people are calling the COVID weight. Um, being at
Mm,
home, snacking all day long, people have definitely been putting on some weight, or maybe the drinking. We've never done as many body treatments as what we're doing right now, and so a lot of technology is coming out about muscle stimulation and muscle contraction, um, which is also promising and interesting. Like we
mm.
have a technology that allows us to do 20, the equivalent of 20,000 sit-ups in a 30-minute session, and with your abs, it's it's absolutely crazy. We're basically doing
Wow.
super maximal contractions, so farther from like past what your brain would be able to trigger naturally. Like we're going past that. So you're contracting your muscles in a way that you've never been able to do yourself. And there's it's a 30-minute treatment that also includes a lactic acid removal cycle. So you're not even sore the next day, but you're building your core like there's no tomorrow. It's crazy. And I think there's going to be a lot more of these technologies because it's such a time saver for people. They don't need to go to the gym, let's say, and work out in the same way. And they're getting very targeted, powerful results, which at the end of the day, that's what people want is to get results and save time.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that. It's a very like
Yes,
biohacky
actually,
thing
you
to
should come
do.
in and try it. I think you would love it. It's called M Sculpt.
Oh my
Yeah,
gosh. M Sculpt. Okay,
it
I'm
fixed
gonna write
my
that down.
I had a full ab separation after my second baby, so a diastasis recti,
Mm,
and I did a year of physio,
mhm.
and it barely moved the needle for me. I still was having that huge gap, and I did
Wow.
6 treatments of that within 2 weeks because you have to do them 3 days
Wow.
apart, and it was fixed. Because
Wow.
it just contracts your entire core, not just one muscle group, and so the results are so much more amplified.
Oh, I'm gonna
Yes,
look into that. I would love
yeah,
to try that. Maybe we can create
yes,
another
I'm
reel
all for it.
of the
Yes.
ab workout. Oh
But so
boy.
a lot of technology around body procedures, whether it's fat removal,
Mm,
that's coming. Again, non-surgical. People are wanting to get away from that when they can. And it's just
yeah.
a matter of downtime. Like nobody has 2 weeks, to not work at home and recover. It's
Hmm.
hard. So these non-surgical,
Mm-hmm.
non-invasive
Mm-hmm.
procedures are definitely more appealing.
Yeah, and they're also like they're it's pretty invasive, right? Like doing anything that you have to
Yes,
go under for anesthetic, like not the best thing for you either. So it's cool that we're kind of bridging the gap,
yeah,
right? And so you don't have to do this like massive surgery. You can do something like what you just talked about,
exactly. And that's the
which is
idea
really
too.
cool.
If
Hmm.
the younger you start, some people are like, well, like in their late 30s, I don't need to start now. Like I can deal with this later. But no, really, the best approach is to start focusing on the health of your skin. Like our medical director always says, the minute you have a driver's license, you should be using a vitamin C serum and a retinol all the time, because that's really how you secure your foundation and you make sure that your skin
Hmm.
can be more resilient and actually combat all the environmental assaults that we get every day from toxins to, we've talked about it before off record, but like
Hmm.
pesticides and um, even just like the sun is good in a in a certain quantity, but past a certain point, it
Hmm.
can be damaging. But if your skin is resilient, and if it knows how to neutralize free radicals, you're in such better shape, um, for aging. So,
I'd like to quickly interrupt this episode to talk to you about doing a health test analysis with me. So, I've had a lot of people and clients reach out to me asking me to review different tests that they've done when they, have been dealing with different symptoms and signs, but haven't really understood the data that's come back. A lot of people will do health tests like DNA tests, Viome, which is a gut health test, um, blood nutrient level tests, hormone tests, all types of things. And as great as these tests are to really move us forward and understand what's going on, a lot of the time the data can be overwhelming. And it's hard to actually make actionable steps from the data to improve your health and improve those markers. So this is something I offer separately now due to high demand. So if you are interested in understanding your results better and you're kind of confused and you want clarity and you want some steps and some help, reach out to me. You can find this information on my website under health test analysis under work with me. And I'd be happy to help out. And a lot of the time, I have discounts for all of these different tests as well. So if you want to do the test in the first place and you want the analysis, we can definitely work something out together. So check that out on my website, biohackingbrittany.com. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Like I totally agree. I feel like I'm on the other side of that. Like I'm just so into all of it and I've been into like I think it's just part of being a biohacker is like let me
yes,
just do all the things now compared to like waiting until things break down. Like let me keep being preventative and keep things from breaking down in the first place. Um
yes,
which is so interesting and yeah, I used to think about if I wasn't a biohacker or wasn't into health, like I wonder what my body would look like and be like and feel like
yes.
if I had I don't know, just like not cared. Like so many people who are in their 20s, like it's just very like who cares? I'll deal with this later. Um, which
Hmm.
is very interesting, but I mean, I guess I'll never know. So
Good for you. You don't want to know. That's
yeah,
yeah, like your everything you've been
yeah.
doing is going to serve you down the road.
Yeah.
And most of it has cumulative effect as well, which
Oh,
is
for
great
sure,
news.
for sure. And like I've already seen a lot of results. And like as you know, like you're a biohacker as well, right? Like you really have to
Hmm.
take like responsibility for your health and create like a personalized healthy lifestyle that works for you. And that's
Yeah.
something that I like that your clinic focuses on is the personalized skincare. I'm kind of seeing this everywhere actually, like this idea of less hey, everybody do this one thing, and more everyone is unique and different. You need this, you need that. Okay, like let's be very specific because you are so unique as an individual.
And that's yeah. When we started doing that in 2012, we we're really the first ones to have that talk track, but now you're right, it's everywhere. And you know what? It's okay because it should be. That's what patients, that's what people want, is they want something, not a one size fits all. They want to know that whatever they're investing in and whatever they're putting on their skin is going to create the outcome that they're looking for. Um, you know, taking the time to apply products or coming in for a treatment, it's time and it's money. So you we like to make sure that we agree on the expectation, you know? And that's why when SkinCeuticals released, um, I believe it was right before the pandemic. Yes, the custom dose concept. So the custom dose that you were referring to in your intro is a robot that we actually have in the clinic. It's state of the art science and technology. So fascinating. And what it allows us to do is dispense a personalized serum with your name on it right in front of your eyes. And it's just so fascinating because that really is the future of skincare. People want to know that what they're using and putting on their skin is really for them. Um, and so I'm just all for this kind of science. I think it's very, very inspiring, and that's where the future is going. And like we always say in the clinic, it's the farm to table approach to skincare. It's as fresh as it gets. It's made right in front of you. How was your experience?
Mhm.
What did you think?
Mhm. Yeah, I think it's really cool to see something created right in front of you, and like you said, like it's more fresh, has less preservatives in it. Um and it's interesting. So I have very sensitive skin in terms
Mm-hmm,
of reacting to products. So,
mm-hmm,
I get quite a few skincare brands and stuff sent to me at this point, and a lot of it I just don't use because my skin just reacts. Like it will
yep,
get red, it'll get dry, it'll get blotchy, itchy. Like it just hates it. And so when I did this consultation, I told the woman who was helping me,
mm-hmm,
I told her that I was like, I react very easily to active ingredients, to a lot of things. And so we created quite a gentle mix of ingredients, and I'm still doing this, is like only a few times a week, right? So
mm-hmm,
just because you buy like a vitamin C serum or something like that, like it can be easier if you have sensitive skin to use it twice a week and then every other day and then every day, right? Compared to just being like,
yep.
oh, let me use this super active ingredient and throw it on my skin, and my skin's not used to active ingredients and I react and then I throw the product out because the product doesn't work.
It's all about compliance at the
Yeah.
end of the day, right? We want you to find a way to use it. And how great is it that you were able to customize your very own serum for your sensitive skin? So then that way you also have that
Hmm.
reassurance that it should be okay
Yeah.
compared to your previous
Yeah.
experience. So that's so
Yeah.
great.
Yeah. So I'm just cautious of it. And same with like vitamin C, retinol, anything like that. Which is honestly why I love PRP so much, is because I never ever react because it's my own body. Right.
Yes,
So I have no
exactly.
issues and my skin is like glowing from it. I don't have
Mm-hmm.
any, yeah, I have no irritations from it. So like of course I get like some bruising and stuff after it happens, but other than that, it's been really fantastic. But I just love the personalized approach in general because my skin is so different from your skin, and everyone else's, right? And we can find treatments and skincare tools and all sorts of things that work for us ourselves.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, like I said, the PRP is a plug and play, so it doesn't get any better than
Hmm.
that. There's no side effects
Hmm.
really, and the custom dose by SkinCeuticals, yeah, we can actually make up to 250 different
Hmm.
combinations, like different serums. So it's so fascinating, and people really love to know that it's fresh, like you said, low preservative, and we can really the active ingredients like the boosters, we can have some exfoliants, some corrective brightening
Yeah.
agents, and we can have some anti-aging. We can even include some retinol in there. So it's very active.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So in terms of like the pandemic right now, I know you briefly touched upon like maskne, which is like acne
Mm-hmm.
typically where the mask goes around like your mouth and
Mm-hmm.
cheeks and chin. But like what are you seeing right now? Like what changes have you seen in the last like year and a half with this going on?
Yeah, so definitely we are seeing a lot more acne. We're seeing a lot more dehydration,
Hmm.
um, because these masks they're definitely not great. And the thing too is we're wearing the same one all day
Hmm.
long. So it does trap bacteria and toxins that you're actually breathing out from your mouth. Um, so it brings a whole new level of complexity. But I would say what we're trying to educate our patients about is if they're able to use a natural breathable fabric, such as a cotton mask, and make sure to clean it. I've actually seen some great sprays that are made of colloidal silver, which is like a natural antivirus, antibacterial agent. And so you can actually spray that throughout the day to keep the surface clean. And that's if you have to wear it every
Hmm.
day, all day long. Um, and there's some masks also that even have some copper infused into the fabric.
Nice.
That can help also as another layer of antibacterial um, protection.
Hmm.
But yeah, the other thing too is to make sure you take care of your skin properly at home at the end of the day. So like you need to wash your face in a whole new like at a whole new level.
Hmm.
Um, you have to make sure you're using an exfoliant so you're not leaving that your pores are unclogged. It's really important. And so introducing maybe a salicylic acid based cleanser, maybe a retinol to make sure that there's a strong exfoliation going on, and then replenishing that hydration with a strong moisturizer.
Hmm.
Um, we even sometimes will recommend to apply um, like a mask, like a hydration mask for on your skin first, then applying your mask on
Hmm.
top. Or at least waiting 30 minutes before you apply your moisturizer and your mask because you really want that moisture to be locked in before you put the mask on. So that it's just it's been like we're learning too. We're in this with everybody.
Hmm.
This is also a new reality for all of us. So we're trying to find the best ways, but we have some great options within the SkinCeuticals line, whether it's a soothing gel that we could use or hydrating gel that are also a lot of people are now carrying in their purse and adding moisture throughout the
Yeah.
day to the area under the mask can help. But yeah, it's a new reality.
Yeah. Yeah, when I was at your clinic getting the PRP treatment, I was talking to the practitioner, and we were talking about masks, and I was saying like, how often should I be washing my mask? And he's like, "You should be wearing a new one or a clean one every single day. Like treat it like underwear." And I was like, "What? Like I do not do that, okay? I wash my masks, so I have like, I don't know, 10, 12 now between me and my partner, and I wash them like I don't know, once a week. Like I'm so bad with it. Like
I
and because
know.
I work from home, right? So I don't really go out as much anymore. But ever since he said that, I've like really been trying to like cycle them and like Mondays is this one, Tuesdays is this one, and just like being very
Good for
conscious about
you.
it. Because
Hmm.
you're right, like you're breathing right there and then you breathe that back in and it sticks on the mask and like the bacteria and like, oh, yeah.
It's not great. Definitely not great. And I mean, we're lucky because we don't have to wear it all day. But in the clinic, they're wearing it all day, so definitely
Yeah.
it's something else, right?
Yeah.
Another
Yeah.
reality. But yeah, every day it should be clean, and that's why this new spray that I've discovered with the silver, I think, is a nice hack when you don't necessarily have time, but you still want a cleaner version of your mask. But yeah, think of what people are doing, and they're throwing it in the
Mhm.
car, in their purse. Like it, it's just, so you got to wonder, are we, yeah, we don't know. We
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah, I agree. Um, yeah, it's very interesting. And it's a really good idea to make a mask out of something that has copper or silver thread in it. Just like my Emphy's underwear that has that in it,
Yes.
um, which is antibacterial there. It can also be
Yes.
antibacterial for your face, which is a brilliant idea. Now that I think of that, and I actually haven't seen that yet, but I'm sure it exists. But
Um, yeah, so there's a company that we work with. They're called Envy Pillow. It's actually two nurses that
oh,
have
I have
created
it.
the pillow.
Ye-
Yeah, isn't it
Yeah,
amazing? That
yeah,
pillow. That pillow is actually another fabulous
yeah.
anti-aging and skin hack because it cradles your skin and your face so that you're not building those sleep wrinkles, which are hardly impossible to get rid of over time. And so that pillow prevents that. But these nurses are just so innovative and so fun. And when the pandemic started, right away they took their copper fabric that they're using as a pillowcase for the
Hmm.
Envy pillow, and they made masks out of them. So that's what me and my husband are
Nice.
using. And
That's
yeah, so they do a really good
Yeah,
job.
that's smart. Yeah, I have that pillow. I bought it last year. I think I heard Dave Asprey talk about it, or I heard someone talk
Yes,
about it, and I bought it.
yeah.
And I also recently, a couple months ago, my partner and I, we switched sides in our bed, because I was always sleeping on my right side. And so we switched, and now I sleep on my left. And just for the same reasons, in terms of like skin and gravity and how the skin falls and if it's being pulled. But also like on a
Mm-hmm.
physiological level of like, because I sleep on my side, obviously. So always like kind of crushing that one side of your body is not actually that great for your joints. So now I've like flipped. Um, so I mean, I'd love to sleep on my back. I think that's going to be my next like thing that I try and figure out. But yeah,
I know, I'm working on that
yeah,
too. It's so hard. But I find with that pillow, because your neck is supported,
yeah,
it's actually a bit easier to do
yes,
it.
yeah,
Um, so yeah, great pillow. I'm a pillow snub now.
yes.
I
Oh
cannot.
my
I have
gosh,
the travel size too, and
nice.
I cannot leave the house without it. My husband is the same. So
Um,
you should see us when we travel.
uh,
We're traveling with our pillows and all our supplements and all our
oh
skincare.
my goodness. Yeah.
But it is,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's so smart. I will get the travel one again when travel opens up. But I should buy it for my partner too, because yeah, he has one. He has like a ergonomical pillow from, I think, like IKEA or something. But it's not nearly as nice as the Envy pillow. Um so it's a good buy. And for anyone interesting, like just Google it. I think it's spelled like ENVY. Yeah.
Why? Yep.
And they're actually from Oakville, Ontario, I think, which is
Yes. Yes.
where I grew up for half of my life, which is so interesting and came out of there. But yeah, so thank you for that recommendation. I'll definitely link to that in the show notes. But where can everyone find you if they want to, check out your clinic or contact you directly? Like, how can people get in touch?
Yeah. So our clinic, we have two locations, one in South Granville and one in Richmond, BC. So you can find us at projectskinmd.com or on Instagram at projectskinmd. And you can find me also at vanessagrutman.com. I have a little blog that I'm sharing and sharing my health and skin journey there. On Instagram, I'm V Grutman. And yeah, we're also excited to be adding new Project Skin locations across the country later this year.
Ooh,
So I've been working on that. That's super exciting to be able to give, make our knowledge and education more accessible to people.
cool.
We also have our online store where we ship anywhere in Canada. And we do virtual consultations also with anybody in Canada. So if you feel stuck, if you don't know where to start, we're there. We can help you.
Nice. I love that. Are you
Mm-hmm.
opening up a clinic in Victoria?
Not at the
Mm,
moment. I know.
dang.
No, not yet. I know. Yeah, but you'll still need to travel to Vancouver so you can
True.
come and
Very,
see
very
us.
true. Okay, well, this is awesome. Thank you so much for coming on. And I will add all of those links to the show notes so everyone can get in touch with you.
Sounds great. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much for tuning in today. As always, feel free to screenshot this episode and tag me if you'd like me to respond. I really hope you enjoyed it and learned something new. If you have a question about your health, my DMs are always open and I'm currently taking new clients. Thanks and see you next time.